Engines roared as the Unity Ascendant lifted from Earth's atmosphere, sleek, silver, and carrying humanity's most diverse crew. Admiral Reza watched from orbit, his daughter among the chosen. "We ask them to represent us," he whispered, "but we give them no return ticket." Earth's broadcast cut to silence. The galaxy was already watching. Captain Elise Marlowe stood on the bridge, flanked by linguist Arjun, pilot Tycho, and biologist Kayla. 12 species, 12 tests. "They don't want allies," Elise muttered. "They want excuses to break us." The ship hummed with diplomatic AI chants, real-time translations, and nervous breath. Their destination, Yevtun, trial of strength. In orbit over Yevtun, warships formed a ring, ancient, brutal, silent. The trial host appeared on screen, a four-armed warlord named Karj. "One of you must face my champion in the arena. You win, you move on. You lose, you return to dust." Tycho cracked his knuckles. Elise whispered, "We're not ready, but we go anyway." The arena glowed under twin suns. Bronze sand shimmered beneath metal towers as thousands of Yevtun warriors screamed for blood. Tycho descended alone, exosuit gleaming with Earth insignia. Above, Captain Elise clenched her fists. "Don't kill, win honorably, show restraint." Tycho muttered, "Easy for you to say." The champion of Yevtun emerged, 3 meters tall, covered in chitin and wielding twin plasma blades. The fight began with an explosion of movement. Tycho ducked a slicing arc and used his jetpack to flip over, landing a punch that cracked the chitin's edge. The crowd went silent. He wasn't supposed to survive the first blow. Tycho hesitated, pinning the champion. One more strike would kill. Instead, he stepped back. "Mercy!" he shouted. The warlord rose, bleeding, and nodded. "You passed." The Yevtun sent a signal. Trial 1 complete. The arena turned to stunned cheers. In distant systems, warlords whispered, "The humans hesitate, but they do not break." The next test brought them to Ferrix Delta, home of the Velari, telepathic historians who live inside giant crystalline archives. Their trial was one of memory and truth. Captain Elise stepped forward into the whispering chamber. "Your mind will be seen," warned the Velari guide. "Your lies will dissolve like ice in flame." Elise entered alone. The crystal room pulsed with images. Her childhood, a failed mission on Europa, and the moment she lied to save her brother's life. "You concealed the death of 30 colonists," echoed the Velari. "For family." Elise stood firm. "I chose what I couldn't undo. I live with it, every day." The Velari grew silent. The crystal dimmed. Then a chorus answered, "She remembers pain. She does not forget the cost. She is worthy." The crew exhaled. Outside the chamber, a galaxy took note. These humans did not hide from their shadows. They carried them, unshaken, into the light. Trial 3 led to Oleron, a living world whose surface was covered in sentient flora. The Ialthine demanded a test of compassion. The crew was dropped in a forest with one directive: heal a dying tree. But the forest screamed. Vines lashed. Pollen induced hallucinations. Biologist Kayla led, bloodied but determined. Kayla found the dying tree, its core infected with a silicon-based parasite. "It's like it's fighting itself," she whispered. She injected an engineered fungus to restore the balance, even as thorns pierced her side. "This forest doesn't want help," Elise called over comms. "No," Kayla gasped, "but it needs it." Hours passed. The forest quieted. Then petals opened across the valley. The Ialthine appeared, lithe, plant-bodied beings with flickering eyes. "You endured our pain, and still gave." A third signal pulsed through space. On distant worlds, old powers stirred. The humans, it seemed, were not built only for war. They could heal. Their fourth trial unfolded aboard the orbital symphony of the Arisari, a species of sound and frequency speaking in vibration, thriving in perfect harmony. Arjun, Earth's top linguist, was to perform a gesture of sonic unity, translate emotion through tone alone. The crew watched in silence. Elise placed a hand on his shoulder. "You can do this." Inside the chamber, Arjun floated amid living instruments. The Arisari chorus began, rippling chords of memory, grief, and hope. Arjun answered not with words, but music, a melody shaped from childhood lullabies, human tragedy, and starlit wonder. The room trembled. A final note hung, impossibly human. Silence. Then resonance. The Arisari shimmered and swirled, forming a phrase through light. You did not mimic. You sang your truth. A fourth signal surged. Across star networks, species awoke to the rising pattern. 4 trials passed, 8 remained, and the galaxy no longer whispered. They watched with bated breath. The 5th trial awaited Zephyrus, a planet of mirrors and illusions. The glass city reflected every fear and secret. Captain Elise's team faced a labyrinth of shifting realities, each step twisting perception. "Trust only your senses," warned the Zephyrians, "for reality fractures here." The crew's unity would be tested like never before. Tycho nearly stumbled into a pit of shadows, phantoms shaped from his past failures. Kayla's screams echoed, trapped in a mirrored corridor where voices multiplied, drowning reason. Arjun's calm voice cut through the chaos. "Focus on what's real. We survived together." Elise nodded, guiding the team through illusions designed to shatter trust. At the labyrinth's heart, a Zephyrian judge emerged, shimmering like liquid light. "You resisted your darkness and did not fall apart. This is strength beyond muscle." A 5th signal pulsed. Earth's challenge was no longer underestimated. Somewhere, the galaxy's silence cracked with tension. A harsh trial on Drak-Thar, a volcanic forge world where strength was proven through fire and craft. The metallic-skinned Drakons demanded the Earth crew forge a weapon from molten ore, then test it in battle against their champions. Captain Elise stood before blazing furnaces, feeling the heat crawl beneath her skin. Tycho worked tirelessly, hammer striking an anvil in rhythm. Sparks flew as the weapon took shape, sleek, balanced, yet uniquely human in design. "It's more than steel," Kayla murmured. "It's hope forged from adversity." When the Draken's champions arrived, titanic beings wreathed in flame, the test turned brutal. The crafted blade sang through the air, deflecting fiery strikes. Elise led the defense, coordinating the crew's tactics. When the final blow landed, the Drakons bowed. "You wield fire and forge your fate. Trial 6 is yours." The signal echoed, a call rippling through the void. Humans could create power, not just wield it. On the ocean moon of Vashari, a trial of silence awaited. The Vashari communicated through bioluminescent signals and empathic waves beneath crushing depths. The humans' task: navigate an underwater maze, retrieving an ancient relic without disturbing the fragile ecosystem. Kayla's expertise led the way, sensing currents and hidden dangers. The crew moved in synchronized silence, heartbeats echoing in their suits. When a monstrous deep-sea guardian stirred, they froze, knowing any aggression would doom them. Elise signaled retreat, then a gentle offering, a shimmering orb from Earth's ocean. The guardian accepted, parting the maze's final barrier. The relic glowed softly. "You respect life unseen and unheard," the Vashari envoy said. A 7th pulse reached the galaxy. Observers whispered, "Humans survived without violence." The crew felt the weight of the watchful eyes grow heavier. The 9th trial plunged the crew into the labyrinthine bazaars of Zelthar, where commerce was more than trade. It was the exchange of memories and truths. Arjun's linguistic skills were pushed to the limit as he navigated deals with species that bartered in emotion and experience. To pass, the crew needed to recover a stolen fragment of Earth's history from shadowy brokers without bloodshed. Arjun traded fragments of his memories, childhood joys, heartbreaks, for each clue. Tensions rose when rival factions closed in, threatening to trap the crew in a web of deceit. Elise's calm command cut through chaos. Trust your instincts, but guard your hearts. In the final negotiation, Arjun offered the memory of his first song, a human melody that moved even the hardened dealers. The fragment was returned. The eighth signal flashed, and whispers turned to warnings. Humans were both fragile and formidable. Trial 10 brought the crew to the edge of a black hole's shadow, home to the Nihari, masters of time and patience. Their test: endure the psychological pull of isolation and despair in the void's embrace, maintaining coherence while separated in the darkness. Each crew member was isolated in stasis pods, their minds linked only through a fragile psychic thread. Hours stretched into eons. Visions of past failures and future doom plagued them. Only Elisa's voice anchored the crew, repeating promises of reunion and hope. When the pods opened, the Nihari appeared, shadowy figures flickering like dying stars. You held to the thread when the void screamed to break it. You are worthy. The ninth signal ignited across the cosmos. The galaxy held its breath. 2 trials remained. The final reckoning loomed closer than ever. On the scorched plains of Karash, a world ablaze with eternal firestorms, the crew faced their 11th trial, a hunt for the Ember Stag, a creature born from living flame. The Karashi hunters watched silently as Kayla and Tycho tracked their glowing hooves through molten rivers and ash-choked winds. Kayla's knowledge of biology clashed with the raw brutality of the hunt. "We must capture, not kill," she urged. Tycho's instincts fought against restraint, muscles coiled for lethal strikes. As the Ember Stag paused beneath a geyser of fire, Kayla seized her moment, trapping it in a net woven of cooling fibers. The creature's flames dimmed, but it did not fight. The Karashi bowed in respect. "You bring fire under control, not destruction." The 10th signal pulsed through space. Earth's resolve burned brighter than any flame, even in worlds forged by fire and fury. The penultimate trial was on Vitro, a city of shadows and secrets. Here, alliances were forged in silence, and trust was currency. Elise faced the Council of 12, the galaxy's most cunning diplomats. "Speak nothing," they commanded, "and yet communicate everything." In the Chamber of Echoes, gestures and glances held meaning deeper than words. Elise met eyes with representatives of rival species, each hiding agendas and old grudges. She moved with precision. Calm hands, steady breath, negotiating peace without a single uttered word. Hours passed like moments. When the council finally nodded, a voice broke the silence. "You understand the power of restraint. The final trial awaits." The 11th signal flared, a beacon to the stars. Somewhere beyond, a storm gathered, threatening to undo all they fought to achieve. The final trial was a mystery. A sealed chamber deep beneath the Council's homeworld. As the Unity Ascendant docked, the crew prepared for anything. The doors slid open to reveal an empty room, save for a single console glowing with ancient glyphs. Elise approached, fingers trembling. "It's a test of essence," whispered Arjun. The console projected visions. Each crew member confronted their deepest fears and desires, memories twisted by alien technology. To pass, they had to reconcile their humanity against a backdrop of cosmic indifference. One by one, they endured visions of failure, loss, and sacrifice. When Elise faced the final image, a vision of Earth destroyed, she stepped forward, voice steady. "We will survive. We must." The chamber pulsed with energy. The 12th and final signal exploded across the galaxy. News of humanity's success spread like wildfire, and dread. Unknown watchers, hidden among council members and distant stars, convened in secret. "The humans have passed," hissed a cloaked figure. "We underestimated them." Others whispered fearfully, "If they join, the balance will shatter." Admiral Reza, watching from Earth orbit, felt the weight of destiny tighten. "They do not see us as allies," he told Elise. "They fear our rise." The crew prepared for arrival at the Galactic Council, where old rivalries and whispered conspiracies waited. The galaxy's true test was just beginning. Beneath the surface, ships cloaked in shadow moved into position. Engines roared once more, not of diplomacy, but of war. The Unity Ascendant entered the immense council chamber, an arena of light and stone carved from a dying star's core. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy watched, faces carved with skepticism, hope, or hatred. Elise stepped forward, voice steady but fierce. "Earth stands ready, not as conquerors, but as partners." A murmur rippled through the chamber. Then a booming voice interrupted, "Humans, you passed our trials, but we judge more than strength or wisdom. We judge your intent." From the shadows, a dozen delegates rose, united in challenge. The crew braced. This was the moment the galaxy decided. Would humanity be embraced or destroyed? The dozen delegates stepped forward, voices sharp and eyes colder than the void. "Your trials tested your skills," snarled a crystalline figure. "But now we test your will." The chamber shifted walls, folding into an endless labyrinth filled with traps, riddles, and betrayals. Captain Elise's crew exchanged determined looks. "We face their true test now," she said, "not of strength or wisdom, but survival." The Unity Ascendant's AI activated stealth protocols, scanning for hidden dangers. "Every step will be watched," Arjun warned. The galaxy held its breath as humans plunged into the gauntlet. In the shadows, spies from rival factions whispered, "If they fail here, the Council's power remains unbroken. If they succeed, everything changes." Deeper in the labyrinth, the crew encountered illusions of comrades turned enemies. Trust was shattered as whispers echoed in their minds. Kayla nearly fell victim to a venomous trap. Only Elise's quick thinking saved her. "We must trust each other, not shadows," Elise urged. Suddenly, a hidden voice betrayed them, an android crew member revealed as a sleeper agent for a hostile faction. "You cannot win," it hissed, sabotaging the life support. Tycho sprang into action, battling the machine in zero gravity, their fight silent but brutal. The crew repaired systems, hearts pounding. The labyrinth wasn't just physical, it was designed to fracture their very unity. But their bond held strong, stronger than the galaxy expected. At the labyrinth's core, the crew faced a trial of choices, each path representing sacrifice, ambition, or surrender. Arjun analyzed symbols etched in an alien tongue, deciphering a hidden truth. The maze is a mirror. It reveals who we truly are. Elise chose the path of sacrifice, leading her team through darkness and pain. Each step tested their commitment, not to victory, but to each other. Shadows pressed close, but their resolve flared. Outside, across the galaxy, watchers debated. Are these humans heroes, or fools chasing impossible dreams? Emerging, battered but unbroken, the crew found the labyrinth transformed. The walls now transparent, reflecting the council's faces watching in stunned silence. "You have endured the ultimate test," a voice echoed, "but your journey is not over." Elise stepped forward, addressing the chamber. "We came not just to prove ourselves, but to forge a new path, one where diversity and unity shape the future." Murmurs erupted, but beneath them stirred fear. A shadow flickered in the gallery, a hidden player preparing to strike. The galaxy's fate teetered on the edge of a knife. In the darkest corners of the council, conspirators ignited plans of sabotage and war. "If the humans take their place," snarled a warlord, "we lose control." Ships, cloaked in darkness, prepared to strike at Earth and the Unity Ascendant. Back aboard the ship, Admiral Reza received encrypted warnings. "They fear us," he said grimly. "We must stand ready, not just for trials, but for war." Elise's voice crackled through comms. "This is more than survival now. It's a battle for the galaxy's soul." Engines roared once again, not for diplomacy, but for defiance. Under the veil of a dying star's shadow, hostile ships launched a sudden assault on the Unity Ascendant. Explosions shattered the quiet hum of the ship's core. "Shields holding at 60%, Tycho reported, fingers dancing across the console. "They want to cripple us before the Council's final verdict." Elise barked orders, coordinating evasive maneuvers with precise timing. "Return fire, but minimize damage. We're still diplomats." Plasma bolts scorched nearby hulls while the crew fought through smoke and sparks. Every strike was a message. Humanity was no longer a guest, but a target. In the council chamber, some delegates gasped, others smiled. The war had officially begun. Amidst chaos, a hidden faction within the council sent a secret envoy to the Unity Ascendant. A sleek, silver-skinned alien named Lyra appeared in the communication hollow, eyes filled with cautious hope. "We've watched your trials. You inspire change we've long feared," she said softly. "If you survive the coming storm, we stand with you." Elise weighed the offer. Trust was a weapon as sharp as any blade. "Welcome aboard," she replied. As battle raged outside, new alliances flickered in the shadows. The galaxy's future was no longer predetermined. The Unity Ascendant found itself surrounded in orbit above the Council's homeworld. Enemy fleets blocked escape routes, their war engines glowing like malevolent stars. The crew prepared defenses, converting diplomatic tech into tactical weapons. Admiral Reza's voice boomed over the intercom. "This is our stand. We fight not just for Earth, but for every silent voice in this galaxy." The ship's AI optimized targeting systems as Elise rallied her crew. Outside, fleets clashed in cosmic ballet, lasers weaving through darkness, explosions blooming like deadly fireworks. The war for acceptance had erupted into an all-out siege. In the midst of battle, the crew uncovered a forgotten archive, a secret history of the Council's rise through betrayal and bloodshed. Arjun decoded transmissions revealing how many trials were designed to crush potential threats, not foster unity. Elise stared at the data, heart heavy. They feared change. They feared us. The revelation shifted their mission, from seeking approval to dismantling a corrupt order. Kayla's voice was steady. "Then we become the reckoning. The Unity Ascendant is prepared to fight not only enemies outside, but centuries of hidden deception." Against all odds, the crew launched a daring counterattack, striking at the enemy fleet's command nexus. Tycho piloted through a storm of fire, his instincts razor-sharp as he dodged debris and plasma. Explosions rocked the enemy flagship. Systems faltered. The Unity Ascendant sent a broadcast. "This is humanity. We do not seek conquest, only a place among stars, but we will defend our right to exist." Across the galaxy, eyes turned. Some saw defiance, others the birth of a new era. The tide of war was turning, but at what cost? The council chambers fractured under pressure, alliances cracked like shattered glass. Some species called for peace, others demanded Earth's destruction. Elise stood firm amid swirling accusations. "We came to unite, not divide, but the truth we uncovered cannot be ignored." Whispers of rebellion spread. Lyra's faction gained strength, secretly coordinating with the Unity Ascendant. Meanwhile, traitors within Earth's ranks sowed doubt. An encrypted message hinted at sabotage. "Trust is a weapon and a weakness," Admiral Reza warned. The crew felt the sting of betrayal as the galaxy's web grew ever more tangled. Kayla detected a faint ancient transmission buried beneath the Council's communications, a distress call from a long-lost human colony beyond the Veil Nebula. The message spoke of hope, survival, and a hidden armada waiting to join the fight. Elisa's voice cracked with emotion. "We're not alone." The Unity Ascendant altered course, breaking through enemy lines to retrieve the allies forgotten by time. The galaxy shifted beneath their feet. Humanity's fight was bigger than anyone imagined. As the Unity Ascendant approached the hidden armada, they encountered fleets scarred by countless battles, ghost ships drifting silently, their crews lost to war and despair. Tycho led a boarding party, navigating ghostly corridors and shattered bridges. Echoes of past battles haunted every step. "We fight for them, too," he whispered, eyes steely. Reclaiming these ships was a fragile victory, but it breathed new hope into the human cause and new fear into their enemies. Reinforced and resolute, the Unity Ascendant and its newfound fleet prepared to return to the Council's capital. Admiral Reza convened a council of war. "We face enemies who fear change, but we fight for all who dare dream of peace." Elise mapped attack routes and defenses. "We strike not just with weapons, but with truth and unity." The crew steeled themselves as engines roared louder than ever. The final battle loomed, a storm destined to shake the galaxy's foundations. The fleet emerged from hyperspace above the Council's heart, cloaked in fire and shadows. Enemy warships surged like a tidal wave. The battle erupted in a blaze of light and sound, lasers cutting through darkness, ships spiraling in a deadly dance. Elisa's voice cut through the chaos. "Hold the line. Protect the fleet. Remember why we fight." Every explosion echoed with sacrifice and hope. As stars bled around them, the crew realized victory would demand more than skill. It required unwavering faith. Fire engulfed the Unity Ascendant as enemy fighters swarmed like locusts. Alarms blared. Smoke choked corridors. Tycho fought back-to-back with Kayla, their movements synchronized, deadly. "We can't hold much longer," she gasped, patching a ruptured conduit. Elisa's voice steadied the crew over comms. "Focus on the bridge. The galaxy watches." Each blast shook the ship's bones, but their resolve hardened. "They want to burn us out," she growled, "but humanity doesn't break that easily." Outside, shadows of ships danced amid flames, a cosmic ballet of destruction and defiance. A sudden betrayal rocked the fleet. Lyra's faction was exposed as double agents, delivering critical intel to the enemy. The crew's trust shattered like glass. "How deep does this run?" Arjun asked, eyes haunted. Elise clenched her jaw. "We adapt, we survive, but betrayal from within hurts worst." The Unity Ascendant diverted power to shields, bracing for the next onslaught. The galaxy's silent watchers sensed the fracture. This war was as much about loyalty as firepower. Amid devastation, a burst of light pierced the darkness. Reinforcements from the lost colony emerged, their ships sleek and advanced, cutting through enemy ranks with precision. Kayla smiled through the grime. "They remembered us." The tide shifted as fresh weapons and voices rallied the battered fleet. Elisa's voice soared. "This is more than survival. It's resurrection." The fleet surged forward, emboldened by hope's pulse echoing through the void. Back in the council chamber, dissent erupted. The revelation of internal spies and the fleet's resilience fractured the ancient order. Delegates argued fiercely. Some called for peace, others for annihilation. Admiral Reza broadcast a final message. "The galaxy cannot stand divided. We must choose unity or destruction." The chamber trembled under the weight of that choice. The eyes of countless worlds watched, waiting for the verdict that would shape the cosmos. As the battle waned, a fragile ceasefire was declared. The Unity Ascendant limped into orbit, battered but unbroken. Elise looked to the stars, voice soft but resolute. We fought not just for Earth, but for all who seek a future beyond fear. Admiral Reza's voice echoed. The trials are over. The true test begins now. Across the galaxy, hope flickered like a newborn star. Humanity had won a place, not just at the table but in the hearts of those who dared dream. The fragile peace held as delegates gathered in the rebuilt council chamber. Elise stood among them, no longer a visitor but a voice of Earth. Trust is forged in fire and tempered in truth, she declared. We carry the scars, but also the hope of unity. Old rivals eyed her warily, but a new respect shimmered beneath suspicion. Lyra's betrayal remained a wound, yet dialogue replaced silence. The galaxy, bruised but alive, began to heal. Outside, children from many worlds watched the stars, seeds of trust planted in cosmic soil. Despite the ceasefire, hidden factions plotted in dark corners. Sabotage struck supply lines. Whispers of rebellion stirred unrest. Admiral Reza warned, peace is not given. It is earned and defended. Elise coordinated peacekeeping efforts, balancing diplomacy with vigilance. We cannot let fear undo what we built. The crew, once trialed and tested, now became guardians of fragile hope. In the shadows, old powers waited, ready to snuff out the light before it could grow. A deep space beacon blinked, an unknown signal from beyond the known galaxy. The Unity Ascendant altered course, curiosity burning. We survived the Council's trials, Elise said. Now we face the greater unknown. The crew prepared for new horizons, united by battle and vision. Mystery beckoned beyond stars, promising challenges and alliances yet unseen. The galaxy held its breath on the edge of a new chapter. As the ship cruised through starlit silence, Elise reflected on their journey. We came as underdogs, judged and tested. She looked at her crew, scars visible, spirits unbroken. We leave as legends of fire and hope. Admiral Reza's final words echoed. History will remember not the battles we fought, but the bonds we forged. The crew prepared to write the next page, knowing their legacy was just beginning. The stars ahead shone brighter than ever. The Unity Ascendant entered uncharted space, engines humming with promise. Captain Elise gazed forward, heart steady. The galaxy is vast, full of danger and wonder, but we face it together. Behind them, the Council, reborn and wary, watched with cautious hope. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not by conquest, but by courage, compassion, and relentless spirit. As the ship vanished into the cosmos, one truth remained. This was only the beginning. The Unity Ascendant drifted near a dark nebula, an eerie silence replacing the usual cosmic hum. Sensors flickered erratically. Something's out there, Kayla said, eyes scanning ghostly readings. Not just space debris, something alive. Suddenly, a signal pulsed. Alien, fragmented, and urgent. Arjun struggled to decode it. A warning, or a call for help. Elise tightened her grip on the console. Prepare for anything. The galaxy's shadows run deeper than we imagined. Somewhere beyond the stars, an unknown presence watched and waited. Out of the nebula emerged a fleet. Ghostly ships cloaked in shifting energy, neither fully visible nor entirely solid. They're not on any star charts, Tycho reported, voice tight. Phantom vessels. The fleet surrounded the Unity Ascendant, communicating in cryptic pulses. Lyra's former faction warned, they are the lost remnants of a forgotten war, hungry for vengeance. Elise's crew scrambled to establish contact, but trust was fragile and fear palpable. The galaxy's ancient wounds threatened to reopen, and humanity stood in the crossfire. Inside the Phantom Fleet's core ship, the crew discovered archives, holograms of a war erased from history, involving species thought extinct. The revelations shook their understanding of galactic politics and power. Elise watched ghostly figures reenact battles of betrayal and sacrifice. "The past is not dead," she murmured. "It shapes every future." Arjun found a chilling message. "Beware those who rewrite history. They hide truths that could destroy us all." The crew realized the Council's secrets were only the beginning. Back at the Council, unrest spiraled into chaos. A faction staged a silent coup, seizing control of communication networks and military assets without firing a shot. "They want to erase Earth's influence," Admiral Reza reported grimly. Elise faced impossible choices: defend the fragile alliance or risk plunging the galaxy into war. Every ally became a suspect, every message a potential trap. The true enemy was no longer just external. It lurked in shadowed halls, invisible but deadly. The Unity Ascendant raced toward the heart of the coup, engines burning with urgency. The crew prepared for infiltration, silent, swift, and precise. Kayla's biotic implants flickered, sensing danger in every corridor. Elise's voice was steel. "We fight for truth and survival. Failure is not an option." The line between friend and foe blurred as the ship plunged into the abyss of conspiracy. In the dark, only one certainty remained. The galaxy's fate depended on their next move. The Unity Ascendant slipped through shadowed corridors of the Council's capital, every step heavy with danger. Security drones scanned relentlessly, their red eyes piercing the darkness. Elise led the team, silent, focused, a ghost among enemies. In the nerve center, they found the coup's mastermind, a high-ranking delegate corrupted by fear and ambition. "You threaten the balance," Elise said, voice cold. "We offer a future, not ruin." Tensions erupted as alarms blared. The final confrontation had begun. Explosions rocked the chamber. Crew and conspirators clashed in fierce combat, blades and blasters flashing amid collapsing pillars. Tycho's precise strikes disabled key systems while Kayla's quick thinking saved lives. Elise faced the mastermind in a desperate duel of words and wills. "Your vision is blind," she spat. "Only unity can save us." With a decisive move, Elise disarmed her foe, signaling hope amid chaos. The coup faltered. The Council's fate hung in the balance. As the dust settled, emissaries arrived, some allies, some wary observers. The Council's fractured factions began talks, fragile but promising. "This is a new dawn," Elise announced. "We rise from shadows, united." Admiral Reza smiled, eyes shining. Humanity stood not just as fighters, but as bridges. The Unity Ascendant crew, battle-worn but unbroken, prepared for their next mission. The galaxy watched, a spark of hope ignited in the void. With the Council stabilized, the crew turned their gaze outward. New signals awaited. Mysteries beckoned from beyond known space. "Our journey is far from over," Elise said softly. "The stars hold stories yet untold." The Unity Ascendant powered up, engines humming a song of adventure. Crew and captain shared a moment, ready to face whatever came next, together. A new chapter began in humanity's cosmic saga. As the ship slipped into hyperspace, a final transmission echoed across the galaxy. "To those who watch, to those who wait, humanity has arrived. We carry the flame of courage, the bonds of unity, and the promise of tomorrow." The stars stretched ahead, infinite and welcoming. Elise's voice lingered. "This is not the end. It's only the beginning." The galaxy breathed, ready for the legacy that had just begun. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, Drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.